Hey, this is Bluerecord Studios, Episode 2. I'm Insa Kim.
Yang.
And I'm Yunyang Choi. This episode will be an extension of the pandemic of Corona-19. The area of study that we will dig down deeper is the law. So I recently read a news report from KBS News, and the article talked about the banning of the night bars and dancing club during this time of the outbreak. So the article reveals another threat to the danger of the spread of the disease. Instead of To All the Boys, the title of a high-teen romance movie which some might recognize, the issue shouts outs to all the youths, you are not invincible.
That's really breaking the stereotype, isn't it?
Yes. So, as we are all highly aware of the term social distancing, which the government is emphasizing to the people in Korea, all-night entertainment such as bars and hunting clubs are what many people are still enjoying. A major risk for another fatal spread. So a lot of broadcasters have been writing articles that contain the explanation of how the people being involved in the night entertainments manage social distancing. Are you guys curious?
Yes, of course.
So, as you might have guessed, the management was poorly done. The management was poorly done. So, waiting lines were created where people stood close to each other. And what's more shocking is how the majority wasn't wearing any masks, despite the character of the space being very compact.
What?
Yes. So imagine how the spread can be prevented if the people are even having body interactions. So this is definitely a whole different circumstance compared to the situation in the real society of Korea, where citizens constantly receive messages of cautioning the danger of interacting with others. So what do you guys think about this issue of the maintained operation of most of the night entertainments for the youths? Do you think that this is something the government should start regulating?
Yes, I think I certainly agree upon the idea that there should be some regulation going on for outdoor entertainment. I mean, the amusement parks and clubs certainly wouldn't agree on the regulations as their profit and gain will drop, but not having anything to give people consciousness of what they're in front of.
Yeah.
Well, I also certainly think they should. The regulation not only acts as a regulator to stop spread the disease, but it could also act as a factor that may raise awareness of the problem.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So the public in Korea is claiming that the government can ban the night entertainments temporarily, but they're just not doing it. So the public is expressing how this issue should never be neglected before another major outbreak such as Shincheonji falls down on us. You know what? There actually exists a legal regulation that prohibits the operation of a business. So here's how it went. In March 2022, the government has presented their social distancing management and therefore ordered that all the businesses that involves mass meeting should stop operating from now on until April 5th.
So they had the regulations?
Yes, they did. The types of business included religious groups, indoor sports clubs, and all the entertainment facilities. In order to get into a night entertainment, the mandatory obligations include getting tested in front of the entrance for any symptoms of the disease, wearing a mask, placing a hand sanitizer in the place, and maintaining a distance of 1 to 2 meters from other people, and creating a list of names to be cautious of the track of the future infected people. It is a policy set from the Ministry of Public Administration and Security. So, the implementation of these kinds of restrictions is possible on the platform on the infection prevention method in the Pendact. According to this legislation, the government can ban the act of mass meeting, and when there are violations, there is a penalty of 3 million won.
Wow.
So, Methods for Prevention of Infection Act 49 is the formal name of this law. But we haven't really talked about how the real problem for why the legislation might not be as effective as we might have thought, right?
Yes,
So-
definitely.
Depending on the type of registration of the business can either be a subject of the ban or cannot be.
Wow.
All the major nightclubs are included as the subject of the ban. However, other small businesses, such as the local term emotional liquor store in Korean, 감성주점, are not restricted at all. And the reason is that the emotional liquor stores are registered as one of the food restaurants. And therefore, these places are the hot spots for the youths right now.
That's a problem.
Yeah, this is a real problem. So the term mass meeting included in the wording of the legislation can be something very controversial during the dispute of the business itself and the government when the government decides to ban the business. So Act 47 also states that it is quite difficult to restrict the operation of the business unless it is identified one of the infected people had been in the location. Also, the government needs to consider the business loss, which the self-employers might claim for compensations. So therefore, this is the reason why operation banning isn't something the government can simply impose as the public wishes to. So in Korean, 영업 정지 행정명령은 마지막 카드인 셈이다. So this is weird, but I'm going to do it.
Okay.
So it's just here for the other members. Other Korean members who's listening to
Yep.
this podcast.
Sure.
Okay. And the rise of the problem of the use of night entertainment seems to be originating from the thought that the youth have a low probability of getting infected. So do you guys also believe that you have a low probability of getting infected because you guys are young?
Yeah, my mother always tells me that.
Well,
Definitely.
Compared to the elderlies, right?
Yeah, certainly.
This is a fact, but however, this is totally wrong and can never be an excuse for the youths to relax during this severe situation, right?
Yes.
So where people are experiencing horrific fears, so the institution of WHO signifies how the youth should have more alertness towards the pandemic of COVID-19. So the message that I want the listeners to be minded of is included exactly in the words of the Director General of WHO, Dr. Tedros Adhanom. So he says, "Today I have a word to deliver to all the youths in the world. You are not invincible. So you are not superheroes." 천하무적, okay?
Yes.
Thank you for listening. And this was it for my episode, which I talked about the law. Bluerecord will be back soon
With another interesting
And worthy topic.